This week on Instant Experts, a verdict in the mushroom case.
And beef Wellington is off the prison menu.
Trouble in Texas as it battles a range of disasters.
Including absolutely everybody running the place.
And in sport, Drive to Survive finally jumps the shark.
No spoilers, please. I'm only up to episode 1.
Welcome to Instant Experts, Mushroom Murder Mania Edition. It's all the latest news explained by idiots, here to keep you sane in a crazy world. I'm Henry Lee, and as always, I'm here with my dear friend, the Honk. Honky, welcome.
Henry, great to be here. What a week. We say it every week. It's a show about crooks, fuckwits and morons. There is, though, bad news. Unfortunately, there are none this week, so we don't really have a show.
What are you talking about? Crooks, fuckwits and morons all over the news this week.
Yes, but everyone we were going to talk about was on the FBI's Jeffrey Epstein list, only it turns out there is no FBI Jeffrey Epstein list.
See.
And so since there's not, that follows that logically there are no crooks, fuckwits and morons.
Right, so what are we going to talk about?
I said we had no crooks, fuckwits and morons. I didn't say we had no maniacs.
Right.
And the maniac of the week is surely Erin Patterson.
Yes.
You referred to her at the top of the show,
yes,
the
indeed.
mushroom murderess.
Yes.
Convicted now, we can say that. And we all know the story. It's been all over Australia, obviously, and all over the world. Just to briefly recap, she was convicted at the start of this week.
No pun intended. Death recap.
Yes, yeah, indeed. She was convicted at the start of this week. 3 counts of murder, 1 of attempted murder.
Well, she invited her in-laws. Her breakup with her husband, or ex-husband, hadn't gone well, so she invited her in-laws, her mother-in-law's sister, and that woman's husband to lunch. The husband, or ex-husband, cried off
very wisely
the night before, indeed, and she served them all a beef Wellington, which is a bit of beef enclosed by pastry with a little bit of mushroom paste in the middle.
I've never had it, and now I definitely never will.
No. And the mushroom paste was poisoned with death cap mushrooms. It killed both in-laws and the mother-in-law's sister. Her husband survived after weeks in a very unpleasant coma.
The evidence, you've got to say, against her was and is pretty damning. Let's not forget, she served herself on a differently coloured plate. She Googled, in effect, pretty much, how do I kill motherfuckers with death cap mushrooms? Not literally, but not far off.
Yes.
She bought a dehydrator, like a device for the mushrooms, and right after the poisoning, she dumped it at a tip.
Yes.
And above all, as you said, she used death cap mushrooms. Those mushrooms are not playing hard to get, right?
No, indeed. They're not called cure cancer mushrooms, are they? They're called death cap mushrooms.
They are not. But we said she's a maniac, but there are crooks, fuckwits and morons in this story.
Yes.
And in particular, there is a strand of people online, I don't know if you've seen this, who are complaining that Erin Patterson's story has had more attention, that people are being harder on her because she's a woman and not a man.
Not because she killed 3.5 people.
Well, quite. But there's been particular criticism of this regional Victorian doctor, Chris Webster, who was at like the regional hospital where these people were all first admitted.
Yes.
Including Erin Patterson. He first treated like the patients who died, and he first spoke to Erin Patterson right after these poisonings.
Right. Isn't he the guy who called the police as well? Because he figured that she had killed them.
That's right. So now he's had like these formal complaints against him and could be fired for an interview he gave to a Melbourne newspaper just after she got convicted this week, where he described Erin Patterson as, quote, a crazy bitch and, quote, disturbed sociopathic nutbag.
Yeah, but surely that is entirely accurate.
Look, the bitch bit obviously is a bit unfortunate. But as you said, this is the guy that first worked out that Erin Patterson had poisoned these people when she said the death cap mushrooms came from Woolworths.
Right. Yeah. But isn't, Honk, the issue using terms like that when they are not true, not when they are true? I mean, if you call somebody a prick or a cunt, isn't the first question whether they are or not?
Henry, I think you find those terms are inappropriately gendered, and it's classic patriarchy. I try to be judged on my merits as a murderer.
Inner West Karen is back, reporting live from Morwell Courthouse there. In fairness, Inner West Karen, Erin Patterson certainly does rank highly in the ranks of Aussie mass murderers on merit. So I hope you're satisfied.
Look, in some ways, of course, it's a compliment, right? You know, the attention being paid to Erin Patterson, because, of course, let's be honest, no man would ever have the imagination to murder somebody with beef Wellington.
No, or the patience. Doesn't it take like 9 hours to make?
At least. I mean, it's a really hard thing to do. And look, I mean, as we know, guys always prefer like the direct, totally unimaginative route, like shoot him, stab him, bury him. They're always like, and they always have these explanations, which I love, like, loving
his pet style.
Yeah, right. Like loving mum of 3 kids, devoted to her friends and family, stalwart of the local community, just up and left me, no note, clothes, car keys or wallet, right around the time our babysitter turned 18. By the way, I'm doing some landscaping just out the back door in the garden, so don't go out there, don't bring your dog over, and no, I haven't called the police yet, but I'll get to it. Stop hassling me.
Yeah, exactly, teacher's pet style. So,
yeah, totally.
Okay, folks, well, we love to start the show with shout-outs to our listeners all over Australia and all over the world. So
Except
of course, Darwin. Still no a Darwin. Boo. Hornsby and Thirlmere, who got a special shout-out last week, are back. And in fact, Honky, our listenership in Thirlmere has doubled to 2.
Whoa.
That's like, is that viral? Or is that,
I think that's going viral.
or is that bacterial? Not sure which it is.
I think Hornsby is still stuck on one, unfortunately.
Oh, boo.
Plenty of wonderful listeners outside Australia, all over the world.
Yes.
Plenty of regulars, and also a number of new locations, including, Honky, another place in Tennessee.
What is going on in Tennessee?
We've had Knoxville and Nashville the
Yes.
past couple of weeks, and now we've made it to the little town of Manchester, Tennessee. It's southeast of Nashville, about halfway to Chattanooga, home of the famous Choo Choo,
As in, pardon me, boys.
track 29.
Yeah.
Are we going viral in Tennessee as well as Thirlmere, or is this just Tennessee Hank driving around in his
If you're out there, Hank,
pickup
we want to
truck?
know. We want to know if you can pull over the side of the road, drop us a note or a voicemail. That'd be good. What else we got? Other new locations.
We've got some new locations. Brescia in Italy, just
Yes.
at the foot of the Italian Alps, east of Milan and west of Verona, where
Yes.
the two gentlemen are from. Presumably the home of Brescia furniture as well. Do you remember those ads from the 80s? It was like appalling sort of Rococo or Baroque furniture.
I do, but of course, that's the Sydney. I think that was a Sydney specialty. If you're from Melbourne, right, in
Yeah.
Australia, you'd be more likely to remember Franco Cozzo.
Right.
He always introduced legend, Franco Cozzo,
Yeah, his,
Grand Sale. Remember that guy?
yeah, his headquarters are right at Footscray Station.
Yes,
the old
indeed, yeah.
headquarters. Mililani Town, which is right in the centre of Oahu, not far from where Mrs. Lee is from.
Could that be Tom Selleck? Could it be Tom?
Could be. Couldn't tell if he was listening in the Ferrari, but
It's hard to know. Yeah.
it might have had the top down.
Could have been Higgins.
And Osaka in Japan, which could well be an Aussie on holiday, given we are not yet broadcasting in
Yeah,
Japanese.
not yet, as Meghan Markle. As Meghan Markle said
Indeed,
that
the
podcast.
power of yet.
Yet.
Power of yet. And Honky, it does seem like it's mandatory for every middle-class Australian to go to Japan at the moment, and I am looking at you.
Hey, I'm here with you, and I have forgone Japan during these school holidays. But yes, you're right. I mean, Japan is become like
You haven't been for months.
Japan is it's like Bali for people who pretend to like AFL, not rugby league, right?
And Honky, a final welcome to a very special friend of the show, which is the Honk himself.
Hello.
Broadcasting today from our Melbourne studio, which is my living room.
Yes,
And you're staying with us
I am. Thank you.
because this podcast is not revenue generating at this early stage
dare you.
yet.
Not for you.
and
I'm pocketing a lot of money.
I walked past the guest bedroom this morning
Yes.
and thought you were up and about because I heard a noise.
Yeah, I can explain.
And then I realised it was the zzzz of a
Please
hairdryer.
finish the sentence. Thank you.
And
Hairdryer.
Honky, you used to have long, beautiful, lustrous, curly hair
I did.
back in the 90s.
Yes.
But
And ironically, then I had no hairdryer.
you have a lot less hair now.
Yeah, let's just say that's a very nice way of you to put it. Thank you.
Why did you have a hairdryer on full blast this morning?
Because I didn't have a fan heater. It used to be worse. I used to travel with a fan heater because I find my best work and my best sleep with the heat, the hot wind, and the noise of a fan heater or a hairdryer, but particularly a hairdryer.
Yes.
And you're right, I don't have a lot of hair, but what I do have is not one, but two of the absolute top of the line Dyson hairdryers.
And I put the recycling out and I saw your window was wide open. It's a Melbourne winter. It's cold.
Yeah. So you want the fresh air, but you also want the hairdryer blowing in your face.
So you've got a window wide open,
Yeah.
cold air flooding in,
Yes.
and a hairdryer on your face.
Yes.
Was that on all night?
Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. None of your business. If you're going to be rude about it, I'm not telling you anything.
Okay, Honky, let's get on with the show. American Carnage is where we like to start the main section of the show, which is usually sometime in the first half hour or so. Big piece of American Carnage this week was in Texas.
Yeah, it sure was. We call this bit, with irony, Salute to Texan Heroes,
Yeah.
but take us through
It was
what we're
very
talking
sad.
about.
There's huge floods in hill country. When we looked at it, 107 confirmed dead, but another 161 still missing, probably dead. And most of them in Kerr County, just outside San Antonio. It's where the Guadalupe River runs through deep gorges, and it rose 8 meters in an hour in the middle of the night.
Jesus
on
Christ.
the 4th of July.
That sounds bad.
And many of the
4th
dead-
of July, people are on holidays, and it's the middle of the night, and it came up really fucking quickly.
And kids are at summer camps, and there's one called Camp Mystic, summer camp like the type we'd see in teen movies in the 80s.
Yeah.
And a bunch of young women and girls were staying there and got washed away, which is incredibly sad. But Honky, it's also clearly preventable.
Yes.
We looked into this, and Camp Mystic is built in a known flood zone.
Oh, good. Do that. Definitely do that.
There were fatal floods at a different camp in 1987. There was another fatal flood on the Guadalupe River in 1998. There have been 35 other people killed in floods on the Guadalupe River since 1998.
And still this camp was there.
It's been there for 100 years, but when they expanded it in 2020, they built some of the new cabins in the flood zone. But don't worry, Camp Mystic passed a Texas state safety inspection 2 days prior to it being washed away.
What does that safety inspection involve? What does it involve?
And then,
what does it involve? Shots.
And the county doesn't have a flood warning system.
Why would you need one? Why would you want one?
Despite that being standard in neighbouring counties, and it refused to install one.
Why?
For cost reasons.
So luckily, though, of course, you told me the response from state and federal leaders has been, since this terrible disaster, has been flawless.
Well, indeed. So FEMA, which is the Federal Emergency Management Authority in the US, took 3 days to send people to the flood zone. Why? Because they need Kristi Noem,
who's the Secretary of Homeland Security.
The one who likes shooting dogs.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
El Salvadoran prisons and shocking plastic surgery.
Yeah, indeed.
A nasty piece of work, little trumpet, Kristi Noem. She put in a rule that she needs personally to sign off expenditures over $100,000. This is for FEMA. Bear in mind, she's in charge of the entire Department of Homeland Security, of which FEMA is a tiny part.
She needs to sign off anything over $100,000.
Yeah, and of course, flying rescue teams to a disaster zone automatically costs $100,000.
Well, that's what you want to hear when your kid's been washed away in a flood, right? Please fill out like Form 7H and check with accounts to see if there's any budget to get off your ass.
Exactly, yeah. Sorry, mate. That one comes out of the Give a Fucks budget, and that's down to zero, unfortunately. It's end of financial year, as you know.
Yeah, but it's July 4th. That's 4 days of the new year. We can't run out of fucks already, surely.
Yeah. To be fair to Noem, he has slashed FEMA's budget in the hope that the states will do more. The only problem was Texas state's response was not really up to snuff.
Well, they did nothing before, as you pointed out, but the response since has been, frankly, just sort of sick-making, right?
Right.
So this guy, Governor Greg Abbott, is the governor of Texas, hugely popular. I don't know if you've heard this week. He was asked...
gung-ho Republican type, right?
Yeah. He's a guy in a wheelchair, but with zero empathy.
Right.
Zero. Who was asked what went wrong, and in particular if somebody was to blame. And like a great leader should in a time of crisis and grief, as you'll hear, he really rose to the occasion with these moving words. Let's have a listen to this.
You ask, I'm going to use your words. Who's to blame? Know this. That's the word choice of losers. Let me explain one thing about Texas. And that is, Texas, every square inch of our state, cares about football. You could be in Hunt, Texas, Huntsville, Texas, Houston, Texas, any size community, they care about football. High school, Friday night lights, college football, or pro. And know this, every football team makes mistakes. The losing teams are the ones that try to point out who's to blame. The championship teams are the ones that say, don't worry about it, man, we got this. We're going to make sure that we go score again, and we're going to win this game. The way winners talk is not to point fingers. They talk about solutions. What Texas is all about is solutions.
Oh, Honk. I mean, can you imagine having lost your daughter and listening to that horse shit?
It's just...
Especially when the government, as we said, it clearly had a huge part in allowing these kids to be in harm's way, allowing a camp to exist in a flood zone.
You said they're called flood zones, right?
Exactly. Like death cap mushrooms
and
are deadly and flood zones flood.
Yeah, that's why it's called a flood zone. And I love Greg Abbott's analogy. Like dead kids are like football teams. Like last I checked, if you're a football team and you lose, you can come back and win another football game. There's also always like next year. There's no comeback or next year or regroup when your fucking kid is dead. Like what?
Unbelievable. Now, talked about the state government with Abbott, and we've talked about the feds with Kristi Noem. What about the US Senator from Texas, Ted Cruz? What was he up to? Because last time Texas had an emergency, he famously fled to Cancun.
Yeah, that's right. So there was this massive cold, only a couple of years ago, I think 2021, there was this massive cold snap in Texas, and senior citizens and other people who couldn't afford heating died of hypothermia in significant numbers. And Cruz, while knowing that was happening, went on a holiday to Cancun in Mexico. In fairness to him, when he got back, he acted immediately.
Right. What did he do?
He demanded a new law to increase protection for US senators being criticised for being total fuck
No, that's not true.
It's true.
Oh, my
Absolutely
God.
true.
So how did he handle this one?
He's done it again.
Has he learned anything from Cancun?
So he promised he would never go to Cancun again, which is why this time he was in Greece. He was in Europe during the floods.
And did he come back?
He came back immediately. That is, after 3 days.
Right.
He knew on the 4th of July, it turns out, that it was happening. He claims he couldn't get a flight out till the Monday. In other words, he decided to have the weekend with the family in Greece.
Right. The US Senator couldn't get a flight out.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Did he have to get his airfare signed off with Chrissy Nome? Was that the problem? Was he spending $100,000 on these tickets? Deary me. Now, Honko, still in Texas, we did this is a lighter note, this story. That's pretty easy to be a lighter note than that story.
It wouldn't be hard.
We did a story back in March or April about a Texas state senator named Angela Paxton.
Oh, who could forget Angela Paxton?
Who introduced a bill trying to restrict the sale of sex toys.
Yeah, that's right. I remember
Texans too relaxed and too happy, so got to put a stop to it.
So, from memory, this bill was meant to require that retailers implemented strict age verification, was it? Like you had to submit a government-issued photo ID. Basically had to be 18 years old or over, and to prove it, you had to show a photo ID in the sex shop, right?
Correct, which is what everybody wants to do, is produce photo ID in a sex shop or shopping online.
Of course.
Hand over your identification to a sex shop provider.
Yeah, and
if anything could possibly go wrong with that.
No, nothing could go wrong with that.
You can get a gun, but...
That's right. You can do whatever you like with a gun. You just... There was one other weird feature of that bill, I remember from the story last time.
That's right. So Angela Paxton is a state senator in Texas.
That's right.
Her husband is the state attorney general, a guy called Ken Paxton.
Yeah.
So he would be the one responsible for enforcing the law requiring ID for sex toys.
Sort of in it together.
So, except the story now is that Ange and Kenny, who've been married for 38 years and claim to be devout Christians.
I have a bad feeling. I can feel where this is going.
Yeah, whatever they say they are, devout Christians, they aren't,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
So Ange has found out that Kenny is having an affair, which he also found out a few years ago, which was a different affair.
Oh, I see. Right.
So she's finally dumped him.
I can't believe that the devoutly Christian, Texas Republican was having an affair. I'm shocked. I'm totally shocked.
And Ange, who wants to ban sex toys, sounds like such a good sport, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's a real laugh, right?
Yeah, Kenny's got needs.
He's got needs, yeah. He's got a hole in the Bible.
So, Honky, the question is, where to from here? With the husband gone, Angela Paxton will be left to her own devices, if I may put it that way.
Literally, yeah, right. And of course, the complication right now, which is Ange is just trying to ban all these sex toys, right?
Right, that's a cry for help.
Yeah, it is. So, Well, you're assuming, by the way, that if he was having affairs, she wasn't. But let's assume, just for argument's sake, that she was. Well, look, I've looked into this just now. I've never looked into it previously. And the answer is, it really depends.
This is not off the top of your head.
Exactly. No, that's not. No, just had to research it extensively. I had no idea. It really depends what Ange is into, right?
Right.
I mean, let me put it. If wands are your go, you got the magic wand rechargeable, right? Let's just break it down into sort of type, features, highlights, okay?
Right.
Type. Again, these are just things I've just looked into moments ago. Type, that's a wand massager. Features, powerful vibrations.
Right.
Multiple intensity levels.
Right.
Highlights, a classic choice.
Cordless design.
Cordless design, yeah. How do you know that? I don't want to know. This is a classic choice, renowned for its deep, rumbly vibrations, suitable for both solo and partnered play.
Right.
Although not anymore.
It'll be on the solo setting for a little bit.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So that's your magic wand rechargeable.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. If you want a little more suction at City Hall, as they say, you got your Satisfyer Pro 2 Modern Blossom.
Yeah, I mean, she's a senator. She needs suction at City Hall.
So this type, few good things about this. Helpfully, it's waterproof. Medical grade silicone, and it has 11 intensity settings. Now
it's like the spinal tap of stimulators goes up to 11.
Highlights, known for its discreet rose-shaped design and effective air pulse technology. It's a favourite among users targeting clitoral stimulation, as you would hope. I mean, that's what it is, right?
Indeed, yeah.
And of course, you've got your classics, right? You go to, you got your rabbit vibrator.
Right.
What
does the rabbit do? Does it run very fast?
Yeah, I wouldn't possibly know. I do hear that it's got very powerful dual motors, which are both reliable and affordable.
Right. So you've got the Magic Wand, the Satisfyer Pro 2, or the Rabbit vibrators.
Yes. Well, as you said, the issue is that, Ange wants the kids to be over 18 to get them, right?
Yes. Do you have to be under a certain age as well, Honk? That's my question. Because Ange Paxton is 62.
Yeah.
Can she still handle the ClitBlaster 3000?
I mean, that's the question. By the way, can I just say, not to go all Erin Patterson is innocent, but those sex toys are nothing compared to what Ken can get. I mean, proving yet again Texas does not care. Yeah, proving yet again Texas does not really care about female sexuality.
Right.
Now, again, I looked these up, Your Honour. I definitely did not sit down on the couch with the weekly printed catalogue. So Ken could get his hands on the following things in Texas.
Is NOS Karen going to do this review, or is it going to be the Honk?
I don't think she will. I don't think she'd approve. Okay, here are some of the things Ken could get his hands on that Ange could not.
Right.
and you tell me if this is fair. Here's what he could get his hands on.
Yeah.
The Oxballs Honcho 2, a stretching device of sorts. The Prowler Red by Oxballs Fist Butt Plug Medium Red. Here's a good one. The B-Vibe Anal Education Set Master's Degree Edition. Master spelled M-A-S-S-T-E-R apostrophe S. We're warming up. We're warming up. He could also get his hands in Texas, and Ange can't get these, but he could get his hands on the Platinum Liquid Silicon Sex Machine Attachment 5-Joule Dildo 11-inch hyphen caramel. That's nothing. He could also have the Mac Tough Big Boss Black hyphen inflatable. Then obviously now we're moving up into, if depending on what Ken and his new friend are into, you got Henry's dying. Here's a good one. You got the Fantasy Impregnator Egg-Laying Metallic Rainbow, which lays eggs. You do not want to know where.
What?
Maybe you do. But of course, who could forget the original and
You're
the
not
best?
making this up, are
I'm not
you?
making this up. So, as Ange has the classic rabbit vibrator, for Ken there is the classic, the original and the best, king-size bitch fist. So look, you see what I mean? I mean, it's just, where's the justice? He's having an affair, he leaves her, or she leaves him because he's having an affair, and all she gets is the ClitBlaster 3000. And what is it? He gets the master's, Ask Master's degree.
Oh my goodness. Well, that was the tale of the Texas sex toys, people, or was it the tale of the sale of the Texas sex toys?
By the way, I'm not
That's
making
a mouthful. Dare I say?
I'm not making this up. I left things out of that list that I actually thought were unpublishable. ... Your Honour.
Oh my.
The horror, the unspeakable horror.
Honky, that was too good. Let's do some quick shots.
Yeah. Can we please talk about the Epstein Files?
The Justice Department has come out with a memo saying there's no evidence that Epstein kept, quote-unquote, a client list, tried to blackmail anyone, or was murdered, and the Justice Department does not plan to release any new documents in the matter.
So this is a complete reversal, right?
My reading is this: when they say there's no client list, all that means is there's no specific piece of A4 paper with the heading Jeff's client list.
Amazingly clever. Jeff didn't write it in bold letters.
Jeff's client list for clients, Christmas cards, blackmail.
Well, there are so many questions. I mean, not just us, but obviously social media this week has had a field day on this. Somebody else noted, quote, "I can't believe Jeffrey Epstein killed himself right before he was about to be acquitted because of the complete lack of evidence."
Yeah. Well, and if there's no list honking and no sex trafficking, what's Ghislaine Maxwell gone to jail for?
What's Ghislaine Maxwell in jail for? Yeah.
And the question one other person raised, Honky, was, if you can't release the list, why not just give it to Pete Hegseth?
Oh, genius.
He'll put it on Signal for the world to see.
Yeah, that Signal
you'll
slash
have it,
WhatsApp slash
TikTok, LinkedIn, exactly.
Take its course, yeah.
If you're a Trump and you're innocent, wouldn't you release every single piece of paper and evidence that you had?
Surely. But we're being unfair. Trump, been for years saying he's been in favour of open government, like including the release of the Epstein Files. Well, maybe not the Epstein Files exactly. We should have a listen to this interview from Fox News in 2024.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there, because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would, or at least...
Do you think that would restore trust? Help restore trust?
Yeah, I don't know about Epstein so much as I do the others.
Interestingly, when Fox runs that snippet now, they delete any reference to the Epstein Files.
Is that right? Wow.
Yeah. And by the way, one of the people interviewing Trump in that clip is Pete Hegseth.
Oh, no, really? Couldn't hear it. He must have had his mouth full. Speaking of which, the over-promiser-in-chief on this issue has been Attorney General Pam Bondi, friend of the show.
Yeah, indeed, our Pam.
We call her our Pam, thanks to a Bondi connection. But, Honky, she's now cruelly been called by some others Pam Blondie or Pam Blondie.
That's a bit mean.
Yes. Anyway, Pam...
People in the Trump administration.
That's right. Anyway, Pam Blondie was trying to explain why they had footage of Jeffrey Epstein in jail, except for a minute of missing footage at the exact time that he died.
In her brilliantly crisp way, she puts to bed any concerns you might ever have about a cover-up once and for all. It's a masterpiece.
And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
Dog ate my homework, Honk.
That's like a reverse Zapruder film, right? They got everything except the moment Kennedy was shot.
That's right. On that basis, JFK is still alive.
Brings us to Aussie news. The big Aussie news story is Qantas, the national airline.
Yes.
Famous around the world for the reference in Rain Man.
You love
the world's safest airline.
That's right. Never had a fatality.
Yeah, never had a fatality. Except
had a few other issues.
A few other issues. They've been hit by a massive data hack. Details of about 6 million customers.
Did the hackers have to use multi-factor authentication? You know,
yeah.
You know, where you try to log in and then you have to then check your phone or check your email or open Microsoft Authenticator and enter a random number and it just slows everything down?
Yeah.
Could they just walk in and grab 6 million records
I think
right
it
off
was
the shelf?
The latter, pretty much. The hacker apparently got in through some Qantas contact centre, got into the system and went for it, and they've got names, email addresses, phone numbers, birth dates, frequent flyer numbers.
Right. Well, maybe no one expected anyone to get through to the contact centre. Honky, were you compromised?
Yes, and I used some of those details for other websites.
Right, which websites for some of your research?
I don't care to talk about it. These people are hackers. I'm trying to protect my privacy and that of other users of...
Well, some of your suppliers that you mentioned, of the products you mentioned earlier.
Yes,
perhaps,
indeed, yeah.
Strictly
Qantas,
for research purposes.
Strictly for research. But anyway, what I love about Qantas is when it suits them, they are obsessed with privacy. And my favourite example of this is what happened to you some years ago.
Yes, you reminded me of this story. I'd forgotten it, but because I'm a kind and forgiving person, but happily you're more vindictive than I. Actually, that's not true at all.
I remember you told me you were fulminating.
Yeah, somebody put a business class airfare on my credit card and I rang up and said, this is not my fare. And they said, how can you prove it? I said, well, who booked the fare? And they said, we can't tell you. And I said, why not? It's been inappropriately booked on my account. They said, because of privacy.
So the privacy of the person who fraudulently used your credit card,
Correct.
is that right?
Exactly.
So if you want to fleece somebody's credit card and book yourself an airfare fraudulently, they can't tell you who it was because of privacy.
Correct.
If, on the other hand, you want to call in from Chechnya and steal 6 million accounts, go right the fuck ahead. Is that right?
Exactly.
But this is not even the biggest fuck up, which is this Qantas hack includes, it turns out, the membership of the Chairman's Lounge.
Well, that's a delight. Chairman's Lounge is the fancy pants sort of invite-only, exclusive, super confidential club patronised by captains of industry, politicians, anybody who gives Qantas a lot of business or can favour them in some way through legislation or regulation. Basically, their source of soft power and low-level bribery.
And that lounge is centred with these allegations about corruption, like memberships, free upgrades, including, by the way, the current Prime Minister Anthony Albanese's early 20-something son.
And in return, Qantas has gotten all sorts of sweetheart deals, protecting the routes to London and LA, limiting the number of carriers that are allowed to fly those routes, which drives up prices to consumers like us.
So now these hackers, and this could leak, of course, these hackers, if their demands aren't met, know who these members of the Chairman's Lounge are. They know who may have begged for membership. They may know who sought free upgrades. Mm-hmm. And it may let people work out like what in turn Qantas might have on these politicians, say, in return. It is a total disaster, which, as you said, I'm delighted by and I will enjoy.
Unless, of course, you get offered a free Chairman's Lounge membership.
Yeah, in which case a hack of 6 million accounts could happen to anyone and the word blame is for losers.
Honky, let's go to sport.
Sports story of the week, if I can say, concerns what I would describe as Henry's WWE.
Oh, Honky, this is a huge story globally. The star of Drive to Survive, the team principal of Red Bull Racing, Christian Horner.
So Drive to Survive, as you pointed out to me, is a huge show all over the world. Is it on Netflix?
It's on Netflix, yeah. It's the biggest sports show in the world. It's one of the biggest TV shows in the world. And he's kind of the villain of the piece.
And what happened to him?
He got the boot from Red Bull.
Whoa, talk us through it.
And they won the last 4 world championships. He's won 8 drivers' championships, or the team has, in 20 years. He's 20 years in charge, and they've won 6 constructors' championships.
Right.
And they've boned him halfway through the year.
The Ange Postacoglu'd him.
Exactly.
Fired him for winning.
Fired him for winning, yeah. So,
right.
But it's got everything. It's got power, it's got sex, it's got money. So
I'm listening.
So the protagonists are, you've got Horner himself, global media superstar, as we said, via Drive to Survive. Mm-hmm. Very successful team principal. He's married to Ginger Spice.
Oh, Jerry Halliwell.
Yeah.
Wow.
So their home scenes in Drive to Survive are shot at their
Palatial
country
mansion,
where he's constantly riding horses. You've got the star driver, Max Verstappen, a Dutchie, 4-time world champion, by acclamation, the best driver in the world.
Yeah.
He's got a tennis dad. He's actually a race driver himself, Jos Verstappen, but he's a very pushy kind of managing his son's career.
Tennis. He's a pushy dad.
Right. And he's been gunning for Christian Horner for a year.
And why doesn't he like Horner?
I think because the car's going a little bit slower this year. But then you've got the Nepos who own Red
love a
Bull.
good Nepo, yeah.
So Red Bull Racing is owned by Red Bull Corporation. The original shareholders were Thai guy who invented the original Red Bull drink and an Austrian guy called Dietrich Mateschitz who brought Red Bull to the world. The son of Chalio Uvidya is Chalerm Uvidya, a Thai guy.
Yep.
And then the son of Dietrich Mateschitz is a guy called Mark Mateschitz.
Yeah, he changed his first name, not his surname. Not a great surname.
And it's believed that Mark Mateschitz wants to run Red Bull Racing, not Christian Horner to run it. So you've got Mark Mateschitz, you've got Jos Verstappen,
and they're both gunning
Max
for Horner.
Verstappen, and you've got Christian Horner.
Right.
So the question is, who's the real power at Red Bull? And we just found out the answer. And then the other thing that's been going on is they've won 4 years in a row, but they're much, much slower this year.
What's that about?
Well, they've got 3 unsung geniuses in the team, all of whom have left. There's a guy called Adrian Newey, who is the chief technical officer. He designs the shape of the cars.
And he's left.
He has gone to Aston Martin. They've made him a shareholder and paid him, I think, $38 million
only 38.
US
only
a year.
Whoa.
So he's gone. He's won 12 drivers' championships across 3 different teams.
So that's one genius. Who's the second genius?
The second genius is a guy called Rob Marshall. He's the chief engineer. Newey designed the outside of the car. He designed the inside of the car, the
where's
engine.
Rob Marshall gone?
He's gone to McLaren, who now have the fastest car.
Funny that.
Yeah. And then there's a sporting director called Jonathan Wheatley, and his role is to run the race day operations, including the pit crew. So his pit crews set the world record of a pit stop in 1.82 seconds.
That sounds quite fast. I'm not an expert, but that sounds pretty fast.
So he's gone to run another team.
So all the geniuses have gone, right?
Yeah.
But Horner has been blamed by the Verstappen crew and the Verstappen acolytes for all these fuck-ups. Is it in fact Horner's fault that those guys have left?
Well, it's unclear because Horner, to throw in the sex part, was busted last year sending sexts to an employee
But
at Red
wasn't
Bull.
he cleared?
Yes, but I suspect it was cleared because it was deemed to be consensual. But he was a naughty boy. But 3 of his best employees left.
At the heart of this is who's got the power, and the power seems to be with the star driver. But didn't you tell me Max Verstappen might be leaving anyway?
Max is on a 5-year, $275 million contract.
Only
with Red Bull.
$275.
Just the $55 million a year, US.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Come on, that's horseshit. Let's get serious, shall we? Get serious?
Man's got to put food on the table.
Exactly.
Can't live like that.
No.
But look, he's in his championship window. He's won 4 in a row. He's an absolute guns. His question is, who's got the fastest car?
Right.
And the answer is, all the regulations are changing next year. So the answer is no one knows. But if it's not Red Bull, he'll be out of there anyway.
And what's going to happen to poor Christian Horner?
I think Christian will be right. I think he'll go home to Ginger Spice.
Well, it may not work out with Ginger Spice.
He's in year 1 or 2 of a 5-year deal, so he'll get paid out his $15 million a year, US.
But he won't be too popular with Ginger, will he, at the moment? Be needing
He's saving 10 minutes a
He
week.
might be needing the special fist boss or whatever it's called.
Yeah, well, I heard Angela Paxton's single, so maybe...
You're right, lucky.
Maybe you could place a call to Texas.
Every cloud.
And the only downside of the whole thing, Honk, is the drama's so good we have to still wait a year to watch it on Drive to Survive.
Oh, that's the worst bit. Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen any of Drive to Survive. We're going to see him being fired on the show?
Well, you'd hope so. As somebody said, the next person being fired is the Netflix guy if they didn't capture it.
Very well put. Well, that, by the way, let me say, I take it back. I thought that was, I had the WWE reaction you have to my wrestling stories, but that is actually an interesting story.
It's the best show in the world. All right, folks.
Except for all the wrestling shows.
Well, indeed. I'm sure that's all we have time for.
It's got to be, surely. Please God.
Find us in all the usual locations, especially TikTok and Instagram. We're a little bit more active. Please share us on socials, WhatsApps, etc. That helps us and rate the show.
Yeah, and also please look at on all the places you can get our podcast. You can see our show notes, and you can, from our show notes, you can send us a text, which if you send it to us, we will read out on the show. You can send us a voicemail direct from our show notes, and we'll play it on the show as we have done before. And if you get a moment, as we always say, try and read our show notes for jokes, if it's possible, or even stupider than the ones we actually feature in the show.
We'll be back next week, the usual time, early Saturday. But we like to finish usually with some audio of particular crookery, fuckwittery, or moronicism. What do we have, Honk?
Well, there's been a lot of stupidity this week, but there was this answer Trump gave this week, which was, even for him, like a new low. And he gave this answer having the question put to him twice.
He asked to clarify the question, didn't he?
Yeah, and then he gave the same answer, which made no sense. The question was clearly about detention of illegal immigrants in Florida. And Trump's answer was, well, we're not quite sure what it was about.
Well, let us know when you work it out.
Yeah, let us know, please.
Meantime, we'll be back next week because stupid never sleeps.
Stupid never sleeps. Thank you for your company. See you next week, and we will leave you with these comforting words from President Trump about something or other.
Florida,
possibly.
Dana Marie McNichol, Fox News Channel. Mr. President, is there an expected time frame that detainees will spend here, days, weeks, months? And does that have anything to do with the immigration judges you just spoke about being trained and staffed here?
When you say, what was the first part of your question?
Is there a specific time frame you expect the detainees to spend here, days, weeks, months?
In Florida?
Yes, here at Alligator Alcatraz.
I'm going to spend a lot. Look, this is my home state. I love it. I love your government. I love all the people around. These are all friends of mine. They know them very well. I mean, I'm not surprised that they do so well. They're great people. Ron has been a friend of mine for a long time. I feel very comfortable in the state. I'll spend a lot of time here. I want to, for 4 years, I've got to be in Washington, and I'm okay with it because I love the White House. I even fix up the little Oval Office. I make it, it's like a diamond. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. It wasn't maintained properly, I will tell you that. But even when it wasn't, it was still the Oval Office, so it meant a lot. But I'll spend as much time as I can here. My vacation is generally here because it's convenient. I live in Palm Beach. It's my home. And I have a very nice little place, nice little cottage to stay at, right? But we have a lot of fun, and I'm a big contributor to Florida, pay a lot of tax. And a lot of people move from New York, and I don't know what New York is going to do. A lot of people moved to Florida from New York, and it was for a lot of reasons, but one of them was taxes. The taxes are so high in New York, they're leaving. I don't know what New York's going to do about that, because some of the biggest, wealthiest people and some of the people that pay the most taxes of any people anywhere in the world, for that matter, they're moving to Florida and other places. So we're going to have to help some of these states out, I think. But thank you very much. I'll be here as much as I can. Very nice question.